Welcome to Finance Conversations. I am honored that you are listening to or watching the Merging Life and Money Show today. Let us make this an exciting journey together as we unlock secrets about financial wellness. Well, today is the fourth and last part of my Black History Month series. The goal of this series was to unearth the empowering strength found in Black women across business and finance. So, welcome to the Merging Life and Money Show. Today, I will talk about the financial mindset of Black women. So, tell me, are you ready to discover the often untold story of how Black women approach financial matters? In this episode, I will explore the unique and powerful ways that Black women make decisions about money, about wealth building strategies they use, and about their journey toward financial independence. I will also dive deep into what really drives the financial mindset of Black women. Well, it is a fact that as Black women, we often face financial obstacles that can leave us feeling discouraged and uninspired simply because navigating the financial journey of life can be daunting. Plus, historical and social factors have contributed to the financial disparities we experienced. So before I get into it, let me introduce myself. For those of you who do not know me, I am Mary Jo Caesar, a financial wellness strategist and your host today. So thank you for joining in today. I come to you live every Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to share tips, tools, techniques, inspiration, and motivation, and to give you valuable information about how to achieve financial wellness and live your life with means and meaning. So grab a pen and a notebook or in a beverage if you want, as you would want to take some notes, share them, and talk about them with family members, friends, co-workers, and more. So, by the way, if you are listening on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or any other major podcast platform, I welcome you. I am glad you have joined in today. So let's get going. One of the most valuable assets that any woman in general can possess is knowledge and wisdom around money, a sound financial mindset that allows her to not only survive, but thrive. So in today's episode, I will do an overview of the current landscape. I will address the challenges faced by Black women in pursuing financial wellness, and I will explore strategies to overcome financial barriers and embrace abundance. So let's give the show some context. Black women have faced unique economic and financial circumstances throughout history, right? They have been continually underpaid relative to their white counterparts, earning significantly lower wages overall. This has only been exacerbated by the racial disparities present in many industries, making it even more difficult for Black women to get ahead financially. Additionally, the glass ceiling that prevents many Black women from advancing in their career further lowers their earning potential and reinforces a cycle of undervaluation and underinvestment. Moreover, historical discrimination in hiring practices has resulted in fewer job opportunities available to Black women than to other demographics, ultimately widening the wealth gap between them and other groups. Access to credit also poses additional difficulties for Black women compared to other groups. Interest rates are often prohibitively expensive considering the amount of disposable income they have left, after meeting living expenses each month, discouraging them from taking on debt or investing money in order to grow their wealth. Well, these obstacles are indicative of an underlying lack of trust and confidence in Black female consumers by lenders and employers that perpetuates this inequality. So, these economic disadvantages can be overwhelming, but there is hope for Black women who take a proactive approach toward challenging them through education, through persistence, through building networks, and creating multiple streams of income. They can overcome these financial barriers and work toward achieving financial security and abundance for themselves, period. Right? So let's look at the first point of today's show, the overview of the current landscape. Well, statistics show a distinctive wage gap between Black women and other demographics in the US. In 2019, median annual earnings for white men were estimated to be 67,000 plus, while Black women was 43,000. Additionally, research conducted by the National Urban League found that compared to their white female counterparts, Black women made 70 cents on the dollar. Another glaring statistic is the rate of unemployment among Black women, which is twice as high as those white, non-Hispanic men and women. This means they remain undervalued in terms of job opportunities, especially when considering higher level roles such as C-suite positions, a number of which are still given to their male and white counterparts instead today. So even when employed in professional roles, Black women across all education levels face deeper wage gaps, as research from the Economic Policy Institute shows. On top of wage discrimination, employers' expectation about productivity levels or assimilation can add to workplace stress for Black women. Taking into consideration factors like home life obligations or cultural differences can make it even harder for them to reach leadership positions because of the extra pressure. For example, research has shown that Black women may quit their job at nearly twice the rate of white women because of these unfair expectations, which often go unnoticed or unchecked in many organizations. Sadly, the one step forward, two step backwards approach continues when considering access to career resources such as mentorship or business sponsorships. Right? Study from Harvard Business School show that Black women employees still get less than white women. This is partly because of unconscious bias, which is common in many industries today. So these data serve as a clear illustration that current practices discriminate against Black women in terms of wages and career advancement opportunities. But the truth is that despite these challenges, Black women have persisted and continue striving toward achieving financial security through perseverance and embracing an abundance mindset. Which leads me to the second point of today's show, the challenges faced by Black women in pursuing financial wellness. Before talking about challenges faced by Black women regarding their financial mindset, let's first define financial mindset. All right, so a person's financial mindset is made up of their thoughts, their feelings, and their actions about money and how to handle it. It is a set of beliefs and values that affect how a person thinks about, organizes, and takes care of their money. A healthy relationship with money entails putting financial education and financial literacy first and taking an active role in managing one's finances. These are all signs of a positive financial mindset. The ways Black women think about money are often shaped by their own experiences and problems. And because of how history and society have affected Black women's finances, they have learned to be resilient, they have learned to be creative, they have learned, and they are very focused as well on their communities. So, this way of thinking put financial education and financial literacy at the top of the list because it is very important to understand financial concepts and strategies in order to build wealth and make sure you are financially secure. This way of thinking also help to get rich through business and investing because it is also very important to be in charge of your own money. At the end of the day, by figuring out how Black women think about money, we can learn more about the unique financial problems they face and the way they try to solve them. Now that I explained financial mindset, I'm going to look at the socioeconomic factors that Black women face when trying to get financially healthy. Educational attainment has been an important factor that affect Black women's ability to gain employment and achieve financial stability. They are often underrepresented in higher education, making it difficult for them to gain the knowledge and skills necessary to secure a good job. Additionally, even after obtaining degrees, Black women are more likely than others to be overlooked or passed over for job offers, a phenomenon perpetuated by racial and gender discrimination in hiring practices. Well, another challenge facing Black women is the starting salaries they are offered compared to those offered to other groups. Unfortunately, despite the fact that Black women have higher educational credentials than other females, they still average lower salaries when first employed. Well, this discrepancy becomes even wider when factoring in years of experience as well as race. Also, accessing basic financial resources proves difficult for Black women due to existing prejudices and attitude about their worth as consumers, right? And as a result, bank and organizations tend to offer less favorable terms, such as limited credit access or increased interest rate when dealing with Black female applicants. Jeffrey Sachs, a well-known American economist, once said, "Inequality is not only a social injustice, but also an economic burden. Reducing inequality not only reduces poverty, but enhances economic performance." So, what does this mean for Black women? It means learning how to proactively use the resources available to them so that they can build capital, they can preserve wealth, and they can create multiple streams of income despite the odds stacked against them. Also, through diversifying investment into different sectors, including real estate, stock market, and even art assets, among others, Black women can generate sources of passive income while working toward achieving personal freedom. Now, I would like to take a few moments to talk about the impact of Black women's cultural beliefs and values simply because they heavily influence their financial decisions. Well, growing up, many Black women are taught to be frugal with their money as a way of avoiding debt and financial hardship. Nothing is wrong with that. This means living within one's means, even if it means sacrificing certain luxuries and services. For example, saving money is often seen as something to be proud of or admired by others in the community. Furthermore, family support systems have been key to helping Black women build wealth over time, as relatives who have achieved financial success can offer invaluable advice and act as mentors when it comes to goal setting and budgeting, while also providing emotional support during difficult times. As a result, generations have been able to share resources they need, and this has helped strengthen relationship between family members and given them opportunities for economic success that they would not have had otherwise. Moreover, though many Black women come from communities facing extreme poverty, there is still a strong sense of pride that resonates throughout this demographic, showing that despite the odds stacked against them, progress can still be made with the right strategies in place, coupled with faith based resilience. This outlook often encourages people to never give up on themselves, no matter how hard their current circumstances may be. It is these positive messages which keep them inspired enough to pursue their goals regardless of what obstacle they may encounter along the way. So I will end this point by saying that cultural beliefs and values are essential components to understanding how Black women approach finance. This teaching shape our spending habit, instill discipline regarding cash flow management, and provide us with much needed inspiration, especially when getting out of debt seems unimaginable. As such, we should strive toward continuing this tradition so that generation moving forward may benefit from such insights into achieving economic freedom and lasting stability in life by embracing the power of collective wisdom. Which takes me to the third and final point of today's show: strategies to overcome financial barriers and embrace abundance. I will first address the financial mindset shifts. Financial mindset shifts can help Black women to overcome financial barriers and empower them to embrace abundance. Well, changing the way we think about money is essential when it comes to obtaining financial liberation. It is important to understand that money is not the end all be all, but a means of exchange that helps in the pursuit of long term goals and objectives. To successfully transition into a more abundant way of thinking requires breaking down existing paradigms that keeps us from getting out of our own way. As a matter of fact, mental roadblocks such as guilt or unhappiness in regards to our current situation can stop us from taking vital steps toward achieving financial success. A very important part of being able to shift our financial mind is to embrace financial education and financial literacy. And to become financially literate, it takes careful planning and preparation. So this includes creating a budget and tracking expenses. This includes understanding the ins and outs of credit reports, very important, investing prudently, and avoiding excessive debt. Additionally, forming positive relationship with money by developing an emergency fund for unexpected expenses helps build wealth over time, especially if you are looking for investment opportunities and setting achievable saving goals. And as noted earlier, systemic racism and sexism in the past have had a big effect on how Black women in the US think about money now. And because of these problems, they learn to be strong, they learn to be creative, and they learn how to put financial education and literacy at the top of their list of priorities because they know how important it is to understand financial concepts and strategies in order to build wealth and create financial security. So, in so doing, they are taking proactive measures such as learning how to effectively use budgeting tools so they can generate sources of side income, or they can diversify their investment into asset classes while working towards achieving personal finance freedom. By implementing these strategies, right, Black women can start building wealth through smart money management choices. And ultimately, this will enable them to engage in activities such as owning a business or property without relying on outside assistance. Additionally, seizing control over their destiny when it comes to economic prosperity is key if they want real change through equality of opportunity across the board. Now, let's look at the creation of multiple streams of income. Well, building multiple streams of income is an essential strategy for Black women to overcome financial barriers and embrace abundance. Generating new sources of steady income can help bridge the gap between where one currently is and their desired financial objectives. The first step toward creating multiple streams of revenue is identifying areas where one's talents, one's passions, and experience can be monetized. This could involve starting a side hustle or freelance business. This could involve finding gigs online or on social media platforms. This could involve selling digital products such as written content or audio files, or even investing in real estate. Additionally, entrepreneurs looking to scale faster should consider diversifying their investment into different asset classes by regularly reassessing the risks associated with each class of asset. This helps provide more stability, as some stream may become unsteady during a certain time, while at the same time helping build long-term wealth when done prudently. For instance, one could invest in stocks and bonds simultaneously alongside owning rental properties to spread out their risk exposure. Not only does diversifying assets across different industries guard against potential losses, but it also allows for growth within each sector as well as better cash flow management. This can be extremely helpful in personal budgeting, which leads to greater opportunities through life, be it saving up for a dream vacation or collecting enough money to buy a home later down the road. Moreover, it is important that investors educate themselves in what they are putting their money into so that they make informed decisions regarding both short-term and long-term gains. Overall, generating multiple streams of income serve an invaluable purpose by providing security while allowing Black women the chance to achieve financial freedom over time. It requires careful planning and preparation, as I mentioned before, including creating budgets and tracking expenses, plus setting achievable goals, which are all essential components for maintaining control over one's economic outlook now and into the future. So before wrapping it up, I would like to share some success stories and example of Black women who have improved their financial situations. Even though Black women face a lot of financial problems, many of them have been able to turn their lives around and become financially stable and independent. Here are some examples of Black women who have done so and their stories of how they did it. Tiffany Alici, the budgetnista. Tiffany is a financial educator and author. At one point in her life, she was more than $300,000 in debt, but now she doesn't have to worry about money, as she developed and sells a program to teach people about money that helped her get out of debt and build wealth. She now shares her knowledge with other people through her website and workshops. Patrice Washington is a financial coach and author as well, When she was $18,000 in debt and facing foreclosures, she turned her life around financially. Patrice also created a program to teach people about money that helped her get out of debt and build wealth. She now uses her podcast and coaching business to share what she has learned with other people. Kara Stevens, also a financial educator, she founded the Frugal Feminista, a website and coaching business that helps Black women become financially independent. Kara went from having a lot of debt and having trouble making ends meet to building a successful business that helps other people get out of debt and become financially independent. These success stories show that Black women can overcome their financial problems. And because financial independent, if they have the right mindset, the right tool, the right resource, and the right attitude, and by telling these women's stories and pointing out strategies that led to their success, we can encourage and empower other Black women to take control of their financial lives and build a better future for themselves and their families. Okay, let's wrap it up and recap what I addressed in this episode today. I talk about the financial mindset of Black women, and I did an overview of the current landscape. I addressed the challenges they face in pursuing financial wellness, and I explored strategies to overcome those financial barriers and embrace abundance. And as I see it, by taking ownership of their financial decisions, Black women can break through barriers to create more equitable futures for themselves and those they love. And my last thought for today's show are Black women have repeatedly proven their strength and resilience when it comes to creating fulfilling lives for themselves and their families. Yet they still face unique challenges on the path toward financial independence due to a history of structural oppression. That's why we must prioritize providing resources, education, and support that empowers Black women in building strong foundation for long-term financial security so everyone can benefit from all they have to offer. With our collective effort to invest in them now, together we can unlock an equitable future where each person has the freedom to pursue their dreams without economic barriers holding them back. Well, this is all I have for you today. And as you know, I like to end my show with some inspiring words, and here they are. Behind every successful Black woman is a history of economic injustice, racial discrimination, and financial hardship. This brings us to the end of today's Merging Life and Money episode. I hope you enjoyed today's show, and I highly recommend that you watch the replay and share it with others. And as Black History Month comes to a close, it is important to remember that Black history is not just something we celebrate once a year. It is a part of all of our stories, and it has always been important. So the contributions of Black people throughout history are part of what makes our society what it is today. So even though Black History Month is a time set aside to recognize and honor these achievements, it is important that we keep learning and make sure Black people's voice are heard all year long. So let's keep the spirit of Black History Month alive as we work to make the future fairer and more just for everyone. So for more information about how to achieve financial wellness from the inside out and live a purposeful life with the money you have, join me next week, Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific Time, 8 p.m. Mountain Time, 9 p.m. Central Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 p.m. Atlantic Time, and noon Friday, Brisbane, Australia time. Thank you for being here today on the Merging Life and Money Show. I am your host, Marie-Jo César. I will be back again next week. Until then, continue merging life and money. Bye now.